The universe, an endless abyss of galaxies, stars, and cosmic wonders. But here's the question that keeps even the greatest minds awake at night: does it ever end? If we could travel far enough, would we eventually hit a cosmic wall, or does space stretch on forever? The deeper we look, the more perplexing the answer becomes. Physicist Brian Cox has attempted to unravel this enigma, but what he found raises even bigger questions. Because if the universe is infinite, then everything that can happen has already happened, somewhere, sometime, even an exact copy of you reading this right now. We know one thing for sure: the observable universe is vast beyond comprehension. It stretches 46 billion light-years in every direction, making it 93 billion light-years across in total, even though it's only 13.8 billion years old. How? Because space itself has been expanding, stretching the fabric of reality itself. But what about beyond that? What lies past the horizon where light hasn't had time to reach us? Is there an edge? A boundary? Or does the universe simply go on forever, looping back in ways that break our very understanding of physics? Brian Cox explains that when we observe the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang, we see something fascinating. Space appears to be flat, not curved. If the universe were a sphere, like a planet, traveling far enough in one direction would bring you back to your starting point. But our measurements show no sign of that happening. The best explanation? The universe is either so mind-bogglingly huge that its curvature is imperceptible, or, brace yourself, it could truly be infinite. Yes, infinite. No edges, no limits, just endless cosmic real estate stretching beyond anything we could ever witness. But here's the twist: just because space appears infinite doesn't mean it actually is. Physics has a way of playing tricks on us. Imagine standing on Earth's surface. It looks flat, right? But zoom out far enough, and you realize it's a sphere. The same might be true for the universe. It might appear infinite locally but have some grander, unobservable shape on a larger scale. Some scientists propose it could be a four-dimensional hypersphere or something even stranger, an entirely new geometry that we haven't yet discovered. And then there's the mind-shattering concept of the multiverse. If our universe is just one bubble in an infinite sea of other universes, then the idea of an edge becomes meaningless. Each universe could have its own laws of physics, its own dimensions, and maybe even its own versions of you. This is where things get unsettling. If space is infinite, then somewhere out there, another Earth exists, an Earth identical to ours in every way, where you made the exact same choices. Except for one. This brings us to another mystery: the fate of the universe. Will it expand forever, or will it eventually collapse in on itself? The battle between gravity and dark energy determines everything. Right now, dark energy is winning, pushing galaxies apart faster and faster. But what if it changes? What if the universe stops expanding and starts contracting, pulling everything back to a single point, the so-called Big Crunch? Some physicists suggest this could be a cyclical event, where the universe collapses and then explodes back into existence in an endless loop. If true, the universe may not be infinite in space, but infinite in time, repeating forever like a cosmic déjà vu. Here's where things take an even darker turn. If the universe does go on forever, then does that mean time is also infinite? And if time is infinite, does that mean every moment, every action, every life, including yours, will happen again and again, forever? That raises a chilling thought. Are we stuck in an endless loop, living the same lives over and over? Maybe even the very moment you're experiencing right now has played out an uncountable number of times before. Of course, not everyone is comfortable with the idea of an infinite universe. Some prefer a finite cosmos with a clear beginning and end, something easier to grasp. But as Brian Cox points out, the universe doesn't care about what makes sense to us. The deeper we dive into physics, the stranger and more unsettling reality becomes. Whether it's quantum fluctuations birthing new universes or space-time warping in ways we can't yet comprehend, one thing is clear: our understanding is barely scratching the surface. If we could somehow reach the edge of the observable universe and look beyond, what would we see? More galaxies? A cosmic void? A boundary we can never cross? Or absolutely nothing? Some theories suggest that space itself might not continue forever but rather fold in on itself in ways beyond human perception. Like an ant crawling on the surface of a balloon, we may think we're moving in a straight line, but we're actually looping back in an unseen dimension. At this point, you might be wondering, if the universe is infinite, why don't we see repeated patterns in the sky? Why don't we find identical galaxies, or even a duplicate of Earth? The answer is distance. Even if copies exist, they'd be trillions upon trillions of light years away, so far that their light will never reach us. The vastness of infinity hides its own secrets, keeping us isolated in our little cosmic bubble. Then there's the paradox of infinity itself. If the universe truly has no end, then that means an infinite number of possibilities must be real. Somewhere out there, Shakespeare is writing Hamlet for the first time. Again. Somewhere else, he's a famous astrophysicist explaining the mysteries of black holes. And somewhere, another version of you is watching this exact video, wondering if their universe is infinite, too. Astronomers estimate that if the universe is finite, then it must be at least 250 times larger than the observable universe. That means, at minimum, the entire cosmos could stretch over 23 trillion light-years across, a number so vast it defies human comprehension. Within this incomprehensible vastness, there are 200 billion to 1 trillion galaxies, each with an average of 100 billion stars. That means the observable universe alone contains at least 30,000 million stars, and that's just the part we can see. One of the most mind-blowing images ever taken is the Hubble Deep Field. A small patch of sky that looked empty was revealed to contain over 10,000 galaxies, each filled with hundreds of billions of stars. The most distant light in this image has been traveling for 13.2 billion years, meaning some of these galaxies existed before Earth was even formed. And if this is just one tiny fraction of the sky, imagine the entire cosmos, an ocean of galaxies stretching far beyond what we'll ever witness. In the end, we may never have a definitive answer. The universe might be finite but unfathomably vast, or it might be an endless expanse that continues beyond the limits of our imagination. What we do know is that the more we learn, the more mind-bending the questions become. And perhaps, just perhaps, the answer to infinity is something the human mind was never meant to grasp. If this video left you questioning reality, you won't want to miss our deep dive into the secrets of black holes, where time, space, and physics itself collapse into the unknown. Click on the video on your screen now, and let's continue this cosmic journey together.